Good evening. This is Straight Talk with Eugene Chan. We are very honored to have our Chief Executive, Mr. John Lee. Mr. Lee has just delivered his second policy address, A Vibrant Economy for a Caring Community, in 3 hours and 21 minutes, breaking his own record set 12 months ago at his 2022 policy address. He also became the first CE to deliver it sitting down. As you may recall, we spoke with CE almost 4 months ago regarding Hong Kong fulfilling its unique role under one country, two systems. Tonight, we delve deeper into the new initiatives outlined in his policy address, and really good to have you, CE.
Good evening, Eugene, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here to talk about my policy address.
Right, CE, your policy address entitled A Vibrant Economy for the Caring of the Community. So it's so obvious that the vibrant economy is your first priority, which we all felt that is the right direction, because a lot of people felt that Hong Kong is a bit sluggish at the moment. And I saw that you have 171 paragraphs with 150 indicators. And some lawmakers have said there's a lack of focus. What would you say to them? And do you really expect to carry all of them out properly?
Well, first of all, they will all be carried out because I'm an action-oriented chief executive. I want the government to be action-oriented. So what is written in the policy address, they will be implemented. And for that purpose, I have introduced last year the idea of indicators so that I can ensure that the culture of result-oriented will be achieved with these indicators. But the indicators are really for many purposes other than just setting them so as to ensure that the colleagues comply with them. First of all, it is important we create a culture to achieve results. Result-oriented governance is my doctrine. The second thing is, since we want to produce results, in the interim, there may be situations out of the control of the officers that they want us to help them to resolve. So we can come in as we see some slippage. Leadership comes in now. The indicators puts the responsibility on the department, on the bureau. The head has to account for it. So leaders has to play his leading role. And that is an important thing, I think, to make the positive difference.
See, others have also
Let me finish first, because you have some seemingly suggested that, well, they are a lack of focus. And I think they just do not appreciate how all things are set out. In different focus areas, you see all these things are set out under 4 main chapters, plus 1 chapter on youth development, with a forward chapter on one country, two systems. So they are in 5 focus areas. So when you read the policy address, you have to appreciate how they are laid out. The reason why people think, well, there's so many things, that is because we want to do as much as possible to satisfy people's wants and needs. The quantity does not contradict with the focus. The focus are all in all these different chapters.
Right, see, thank you for telling us you have focused on 5 areas that I think people should read it in that context. Some others have also questioned if the government has enough money to deliver on all these promises. Financial Secretary himself said that the full year deficit was up to maybe double of the sort of initial plan, up to $100 billion. Do we have enough funds to deliver on all these initiatives? Because we are trying to boost baby growth, we want to boost the population, we want to make education hub, which is part of Hong Kong, and also, more importantly, slashing a lot of the stamp duties in both property market as well as the stock markets. Do we have enough money?
Well, when government make policies, of course, we have to ensure that we can do it within our financial constraint. But this financial constraint should be looked at long term. Like all things, you need people, you need money, and you need focus of attention. But what we want to do here to ensure that we grow the economy so everybody benefits. Businesses will make more money, people will get better jobs, and there are more opportunities for people to develop into new areas. if you want to do this, you want to row this boat fast, you need fuel. Yes, we have to be careful about how we use our resources, but that is not a reason for us not to do anything. We have different ways to address this financial constraint, which is, I think, a constraint that is faced by all governments at different times, whether good or bad. There are always limitations in resources. So what I produce here is, while we'll do things, we make sure that we make the right choices of how to use money. There are a lot of money in the market. So instead of just government investing, spending money on this, why can't we think of recruiting money, attracting money to join some of these projects? That is why I've said in my policy address of setting up a committee to look at different ways of financing projects. I'll give you an example of the Western Cross Harbour Tunnel. It was at that time done by giving it to a company to build using his own money and also to run the business. Then he regains his investment and also make a reasonable profit. Then it's handed back to the government. It becomes a win-win situation. And at the same time, we manage to control the expenditure of government. That's what I'm trying to do. So we should not stop doing things, but we should do things in a measured manner with good financial support. And I have been talking to a lot of financial experts, and who has also suggested a very good idea of changing some concepts of the funding for the projects. Instead of making it an expenditure project, which we have been doing mostly, we can make it an investment project. Then it's only the amount of money we invest, and that's the maximum loss that you will have. And then co-investment will draw up the money. Instead of government investing all, government may invest maybe 1/10, and so the other money comes from market. And if that money comes from market readily, what it also tells us, this is a project worth investing.
Right.
Because all these investors are very shrewd, smart investors.
Right. See, in the last few weeks of Straight Talk, we have a lot of guests telling us how they would like to see the policy addressed. That means a lot of people are really anticipating to your plan, which came out last week. I know you've been trying to do a very measured way to making sure we stimulate the economy while having a very measured approach. What if it doesn't work too well? Hopefully it won't. Do we have a plan B?
We are progressing with different ideas. So before we formulate the plans, of course, we have A, B, C, D, and E.
Right.
But once we have made a good decision, having taken into consideration all factors, then we may choose option C. Then option C progress with good calculation of the benefits and risk analysis. And that is done in that way. At the end of the day, if any project we believe it will be producing good return, who is to decide whether that decision is right or not? If we can invite investors to come in, I think investors are smart enough to tell the world that this is a good project. One objective question I think we should all ask ourselves is, for Hong Kong, 10 years later, would it be an even better Hong Kong? I have full confidence it will be better for very objective reasons. First of all, I believe in Hong Kong people. Hong Kong people can make a fishing village into an international cosmopolitan city. Second, I believe in my country. State policies are all making to make Hong Kong successful. Third, I believe in the economic development and strength of my country, because the engine of growth is moving from the west to the east. And China being a big economy, and we situate Hong Kong being situated at the center of Asia, which is the engine of growth, would it create a better future for us? Yes.
I'm sure.
And more importantly, we believe in one country, two systems in the long run. So one country system is going to be a brand, a golden card, a gold card. So I have full confidence. And investors are smart. If I can think of this, they will think of this. And they do calculation as well.
Right, see, let's move on to a pet area that you like very much about younger generation. You mentioned that you take heed of Presidency's advice on Hong Kong will prosper only when our young people thrive, and that's the basis of your governance and blueprint. Are you confident you'll be able to help the younger generation to pass through the hurdles so that their 4 E's that we talk about, employment, entrepreneurship, home ownership, or even education, and provide them with opportunities to a term that we always wanted to have, an upward mobility?
This is a long-term process. What government should do and what I think I should do is, first of all, I provide a good environment for them to develop. There's a good saying that instead of providing people with fishes, you tell them how to fish. How do we do that? Education is important. That is why I'm strengthening Hong Kong's education system by developing Hong Kong as an international higher education hub. What will help our students in Hong Kong? Because first of all, more resources will be put into it. The second is, this is not just education to tell people to look at Hong Kong, to look at the world, because it is going to be an international education hub. The third thing is, extra positive elements will come in as more students come from overseas. And that is broadening vision. That is understanding this world is not just Hong Kong. It's not just technical knowledge. You need to know how to deal with people, how to interact. You're talking with people of different backgrounds, different languages, and different religion as well. So that is a very good, I think, one foundation for people to develop. Other things, for property, purchasing, we have different schemes to help the young to buy. Well, some traditional schemes such as HOS scheme, some first-time buyer down payment support scheme. And we also recently have introduced the estates to be built really for first-time buyers. Mm-hmm. And first-time buyers, according to our statistics, the buyers are 85% below 45 years old, and they are the young ones. And more importantly is opportunities for development, employment, and starting their own businesses. So yes, Hong Kong is the place to be because we'll be helping them to realize the dream. And also GPA, I mean, integration with mainland China, which is I'm doing very, I think, positively and focusedly. And also we have already rolled out the youth development blueprint, which contain over 160 areas of activities we'll do. All these, I think, aim at one purpose, is to help developing our youth.
Right, see, let's take a break now. And viewers, don't go away, we will be right back. Thank you for staying with us, and we have our CE, Mr. John Lee, this evening, talking to us about his policy address. So CE, in the first half, you have reassured us everything is being planned, and you're confident that Hong Kong will be a much better place in 10 years' time, and you have told us the reasons, and I'm sure the viewers have or heard about it. Let's look at another area that I'm sure people will want to know. In recent times, Hong Kong has been through quite some challenging periods, like we had the social unrest, we had a long time of the COVID thing in Hong Kong, affecting people's lives and businesses. Now we have high interest rates, and I mean the exports have decreased, and also the economy is kind of used the word sluggish. And a lot of people are seeing shops and restaurants being closing down. I know you don't have a crystal ball, but I'm sure the viewers would like to know, when do you foresee there's a turning point of the actual economy that we will see light at the end of the tunnel? I'm sure confidence is a very important thing for the Hong Kong people.
I said Hong Kong will be very good after 10 years, but it doesn't mean that, I'm not saying that Hong Kong is progressing better every day. That is my aim. Every month, every year, that is what I try to do. But we need not just government efforts. Of course, government efforts is priority. We need collective efforts, because for economic activities to really take off, then it is, I think, people who don't work in the government, it's business sectors, it's enterprises, it's professionals. So we need to all work together. You are right that we are facing challenges because interest rate is high and will remain high for quite a while. Geopolitical situation is complex. There are conflicts as well as some region. And also supply chain disruption has been hitting on everybody. So global economy is under pressure. But at the same time, there are opportunities that Hong Kong, very luckily, being a special administrative region, situated in our country and in this part of the world. So the policies that I'm driving is, okay, there are things that we cannot control, but there are things we can control. For the things that we can't control, such as high interest rates, such as geopolitical complexity, then we have to ensure that we have the resilience, the preparation, to ensure that we can deal with the risk if it does hit us. So in my policy address, I've highlighted that we will ensure that we will address our weaknesses and threats. These things exist in all places amongst all governments. But at the same time, we should work on those we can control and influence. What are these? Business opportunities. Where are the opportunities? Hong Kong has 3 big opportunities we shouldn't overlook. First of all, our internal opportunities, the DNA of Hong Kong. We are situated at the center of Asia. 5 hours flights, we reach cities that cover half of the world population. We have a low tax regime. Our tax system is simple. Common law system, certainty, rule-based society, highly connected to the international world, first-class professional services experts, and we are a financial center, which is one of the key important driving factors for anything to grow, because we need to talk about money. So these are all the attractions. If you give me time, I can tell you even more. But in the interest of time, let us look at the other opportunities. China opportunities. I think everybody sees that China is going to grow much faster than the global average. And the driving engine is shifting from the west to the east. So all these add to us. And one other thing is, States is making all sorts of policies to help Hong Kong. So this is the China advantage we have. Make good use of it. Grasp all opportunities. Then is the international opportunity, right? All countries after COVID are looking at businesses. In the visit I made to the Middle East, to Saudi Arabia and UAE, I have been hearing a lot of stories about investing in Hong Kong, because they see the same thing as I do, is the engine of growth is shifting. China is going to be bigger and stronger. And economy in this region, ASEAN, RCEP, all the member states, they will be one of the big drivers. So all these factors converge at Hong Kong. Aren't we lucky? But we need to make good use of these opportunities. That is what this policy address is all about. Right. Developing all opportunities, strengthening our strengths, and build a vibrant economy.
Right, see, since you have mentioned that, I want to ask you, that must be Hong Kong's actual competitiveness. So as a Hong Kong citizen, how can we help to maintain Hong Kong competitive edge from your view? You can tell the viewers, what should we do to help you?
Well, you can contribute the best you can in your profession. You do your profession well, and also contribute society as a whole in your industry. So you not just make yourself a stronger dentist, you make the dental industry stronger. All parts are together. If everybody plays their role and contribute the most to it, both microscopically and macroly, then collectively we'll build this strong, bigger ship. That's the first thing. The second thing is, perception is always the reality. We have to tell the world. Those smear campaigns, they do not tell you the truth. So I have here in the policy address some paragraphs to say that our Hong Kong people, particularly patriots, should make use of all opportunities to go out and tell the world the true Hong Kong story and tell it to the people so that they understand it. The smear campaigns, this old tactics of telling a lie 100 times to make it look as if it's truth, they are lies. They remain lies, and come and see. And of course, make good use of the opportunities I mentioned. We have Belt and Road Initiative, where professional services can go outside of Hong Kong to create business to get returns. So for example, an architect can go out of Hong Kong to contribute to the construction of Belt and Road, and then he will make money. The Belt and Road Initiative will get result, and also he creates his network as well. So it's making use of all the opportunities and integration with our country. I've always been advocating. These are the opportunities well open to you. And you have to tell people to grasp the opportunities. Things that they don't know well, you tell them. The network you have, you also introduce it to them. That is the collective effort. Government has the role to play. I open the doors with another government. What needs to be followed up is business people continue to open small doors, open windows. And I'm glad to see that the representatives from different sectors, successful leaders, whenever they go with me to other countries, first of all, they agree with what I say. That means they agree with the unity, the concerted effort, the teamwork, and they all do their parts, and they are also result-oriented. And that is how we can work collectively to be more competitive than others. And I think we have built that momentum already in Hong Kong.
Right. See, since you mentioned about the smear campaign, I'm sure many of the guests who have come to the show have said to me that with the Western rhetoric, they are hearing a completely different story when they're over there. So what we're thinking is, especially with the national security legislation and also the Article 23 that we will legislate in the coming year, this is give them a very a sort of window for them to hit us again. So would you be able to unite even more Hong Kong people to go with you, to go overseas and tell them this is not true?
Well, first of all, when we talk about smear campaign, when we talk about misinformation or disinformation, I think if you want to convince people, you have to divide them into probably two groups. One group is they intentionally smear you, no matter what the truth is. They're going to tell a lie about it. Then, of course, these are the people you have to tell that they're wrong, and you have to show them they're lying. But more importantly, I think the majority of people have been somehow been misled, or either he doesn't have the time to really understand the content. So we need to really go out. So we need to focus the efforts. Different sectors will be dealt with differently because they have different concerns. And also the language has to be changed so that it is easily apprehensible. The legal jargons are difficult to understand, I admit. So the government's telling story, method, language, and also platforms have all to be expanded. But I'm still confident because at the end of the day, the truth prevails. We'll work hard on that.
See, we all really appreciate your time and insight into your policy address. Viewers, it is evident that the future of Hong Kong is a collective endeavor, and we each have a role to play in shaping it. We hope that the policies, initiatives will indeed bring hope, vitality, and harmony to all Hong Kong people, and transition is from order to prosperity. I'd like to quote Alan Seaman, who made this comment about this policy address. This is a game changer for the future of Hong Kong in every respect and involves everyone. Have a good evening and see you next week.